All right, I am alive. Hello, beautiful YouTube community. This is Katerina Satori, and I am excited to hop on and to share my insights on how to cultivate the alive, dynamic balance between your inner masculine and your inner feminine. Right? So, welcome. Let me know in the comments if you are here and if you feel inspired to comment. I have made my green smoothie that I have every day, started my day powerfully with resistance training. And if you are new to my channel, I just recently began sharing more on YouTube channel. I am often on Facebook and Instagram, so I am committed to be more and more consistent with value here on YouTube. So my name is Katerina Satori, and my work in the world is all about empowering individuals to rise in their sovereignty, in the sense of inner freedom and power, believe in their creative potential, and then actualize that potential by creating the life and the business that they can thrive in. So I often create content that helps people take bold, courageous leaps forward. This is why when you look at my banner, it says, create, don't wait. Your heaven on earth is waiting for you now, right? And the reason this has become like a life motto for me, because there were many, many years I would held myself back by waiting for better time, better opportunities, by, secretly waiting for my soulmate to arrive. And now I just talk about it openly, right? And there was a huge awakening moment when I said, I can either wait, and by waiting, I am wasting my best years, or I can create with what I've got, and create with simple tools, create with the knowledge that I have right now. And then when I create with what I've got, life is very interesting. Universe supports every act of courage that we choose to take. And when we wait in indecision or procrastination, the quantum reality mirrors that, and our opportunities are on hold, and our success is on hold, right? Because as within, so without. So it's very powerful. And there is a times in your life where waiting is absolutely crucial. And I'll speak about that. I'm talking about waiting in the sense of delay, where you got to take that step forward and you're holding yourself back. Maybe because you don't trust yourself. Maybe there is fear, there is self-doubt, or there is laziness. That's another one that just, because we are here in the West, we can easily get distracted by Netflix and by simply not looking at our reality honestly. And when we don't do that, we don't take bold action forward. So there comes a point where you say, I've had enough and I'm going to start creating a different life right now. So when you do that, you start getting momentum, right? You start getting momentum in your business and your leadership. There comes a time where there's a powerful lesson on finding your rhythm. This harmonious and dynamic expansion is all about finding your unique rhythm. Not the rhythm of somebody that you admire, not a rhythm of your partner, and not the rhythm of your parent, but your rhythm, your pulse, right? Your beat through which you create anything. And I have found when I lose my rhythm, I lose my power. So the balance in my experience, my experience of balance is very dynamic. A lot of times I will have these creative sprints, right? I accelerate, I sprint, I bring something forward. And then I go lean back and relax into nature, into being, into going on long walks, listening to the music. I'm not in constant action. I'm really enjoying this rhythm, right? And it's the same thing when it comes to, if you have an online business like myself, finding the rhythm of how much you choosing to be visible, right? I used to think that for me to stay relevant, I had to be visible a lot. And that was just the old pattern of thought. And I remember when I realized that I had that thought and I just decided to question it, and I began to say, you know what? You don't need to be visible all the time. Listen to your impulse, listen to your authentic, genuine impulse, and share yourself online. My cat, Gracie, and share yourself online where you feel a genuine impulse. So finding your rhythm in your business, in your leadership, in your creative process. This was also very huge when I began learning about the feminine and the masculine within us, right? We're on the level of the soul, we do not have a gender. But the moment we come to this physical reality, we are under universal laws, and one of them is the law of gender. So when the soul incarnates, the soul must make a choice to take a female body or a male body, depending on what would support learning the key lessons of this incarnation. But we all have masculine and the feminine within, right? We simply have different chapters in our life where one energy begins to lead, right? And another one is kind of like in the background. And then comes a time where you say, well, what does it look like for me to experience a dynamic balance of my inner masculine and my inner feminine? Another way to say it, that your feminine represents your intuitive, mystical, receptive, um, psychic side. And your masculine is more action oriented, more step by step, loves the structure, loves the process, loves the definitions, right? So it's very important to have both. And especially when it comes to running your own business, it's incredibly important to have both of them in balance. Because, for example, I love structure. I teach how to create courses, how to do launches, how to, create how to package your wisdom. That's all very structural knowledge, right? But in the depth of it, I always encourage people to listen to inspiration that comes to them when they are in the receptive feminine state, when they're in silence, in solitude. So the feminine within you nourishes the masculine, and the masculine within you goes and implements the vision that is received through your feminine. So very important. I have found that when people lose balance, and I definitely had that experience myself, and they only start flowing in life and they say, I don't need any structure. I'm just going to flow and I'm going to be all in my feminine. And they only do what feels good, like based on their mood, right? Based on their mood. Maybe I will make an offering today. Oh, maybe I'll make a post. I'm not in the mood. I'm not going to do any of that. So then you will lose balance, because when you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, you are you carry certain responsibilities. You got to make certain decisions on a daily basis, right? So even if you're not in the mood to make a decision or to talk to your team or show up and deliver for your clients, you got to be able to shift your state through the power of your will, which is a very masculine quality, right? Interesting. So if the feminine is imagination, our ability to see, to visualize, to dream, our masculine is the willpower. And the willpower sometimes gets a bad rap, especially in the conscious community where people are tired. They're coming from self-development world and where it's only willpower, but the soul is missing. But here's the new earth perspective. We get to activate our whole being. And the power of our will is a very important element, right? Where you find that strength within to see something through. One of the reasons I really love this type of a yoga called Kundalini yoga. Kundalini yoga will help you train your will. You do those like 50 repetitions of the same like high intense movement like this or like this, right? You gotta tap into the fire of your will in order to move through that workout. So this is the dynamic and harmonious expansion where you value your willpower, but you don't just only use your will to create your reality. You use the fire of your will to see a project through through, but what actually fuels your entire journey is your connection to your soul, right? Your ability to see the vision before it happens, your ability to dream something into existence. So that's when your masculine and your feminine are working in harmony together, and you unlock a new kind of power. It's a power of dynamism that comes from your spirit. How are you receiving all of this? I am live and I'm learning how to be live on YouTube. It's fun. It's fun for me. So, darlings, last night I wanted to share with you an experience. How do you know where you sometimes lose your balance? Where if you start feeling anxious, and anxiety is not really a normal feeling. I mean, it's not a feeling that doesn't have any roots. When you feel anxious, it to me personally, when I feel an anxiety, boom, I lost my balance. That's it. I lost my balance. I just started making something in my life. I became attaching too much importance to it. So I go back to my spiritual practices. I connect to my heart and I say, Katerina, remember, this is all a beautiful cosmic game, right? And you have today, and what would feel meaningful for you to create today? I often feel if I notice an anxiety and I lost my balance, it means I just started projecting too much on the future. I got too overzealous with my goals and my ambitions. So I reeled that back in and I begin to appreciate. The fastest way to shift back into balance is to appreciate. I have found this to work all the time, right? And sometimes I'll just sit and listen to the silence, listen to this moment, and I begin to appreciate the simplicity and the beauty of this moment. Knowing that the next wave of dynamic action will flow spontaneously from me returning to my center. And the harmonious expansion starts dropping in last year for me when my business would just kept growing and growing and growing. And a lot of times, if we're not aware, when expansion is rapid, we can create self-sabotage. Like our nervous system doesn't know how to handle this much good all at the time. So we create an experiences to pull ourselves back into contraction on the unconscious level. So in order not to do that, you simply, when you expand, you remember to appreciate and to celebrate everything, and you play with this perspective of harmonious expansion. What I mean by that, when we look at nature has a season of winter, that right now that I'm filming this live stream in the season of winter, where not much is happening in the nature. Not much that is visible to the eye, right? But what is happening deep underneath the soil is so powerful because nature is allowing the soil to regenerate and to prepare for the spring. In the spring, new life comes in, and in spring we begin to plant new seeds, right? And then we take care of the seeds in the summer, and we have the harvest in the fall. I have found when I begin to learn from nature and I begin to say, okay, I have birthed something into existence, whether it's a creative project, whether it's a movement, or whether it's a new book. In order for me to really expand with harmony, I get to honor the rhythm of that creative birth. If I rush to give birth to something else right away, I lose harmony. I begin to create too much on my plate, right? So, very, very powerful to ask yourself, what is my creative rhythm? Do I desire to create something new because it comes from the seat of my soul? Or do I feel pressured to create something new because it's a mental idea that I get to produce? And the more I produce, the more worthy I feel. This used to be a long pattern for me as a survivor of a childhood trauma. And I have found people who had difficult childhoods, who had to grow up really fast. Number one, they become really natural, successful entrepreneurs because they have high risk tolerance. But a lot of times they don't know how to stop. And they simply produce and produce and produce and produce, and they have a challenge to stop and to appreciate what they already created. So paying attention to that and to say, do I really desire to create and expand because it's a natural desire from my heart, or is it a pressure? And then this way, the more you can ask yourself those questions, the more you can navigate your journey, and the more you can expand with beauty and with flow and with grace. So on this note, I just wanted to share these few ideas. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching replay, if you're watching live, and if you'd like to stay connected, please see my website, www.katerinasatori.com. I just put a whole new gift on my homepage called Wisdom Transmissions, where I create audios every month that are only accessible to people who are in my email community. And I'm about to record one today for the theme of February. So every month there is a theme, and every month I release an audio that is value packed that you can access and you can go through anytime you wish. So what if you choose to honor your rhythm and treasure and cherish the balance of your feminine and of your masculine, and only create when you feel deeply called to create something? How much more beautiful and harmonious your life would become. I'm excited for you to discover that. And if you do, and when you do, or if you had an insight when you were watching this video, let me know in the comments. It's always a joy to hear from you. I'll see you next time.